Hey, who's that? Hey, Naz. I'm good. Say something again. Okay, gotta get you on the. All right, try saying something again. Nope. All right, one more time. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just trying to get you onto the stream. I just changed everything because I had to set up a widescreen for all this. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I forgot I had a thing this morning. Let's see. Okay, you should be. All right, say something now.
Uh, Hello?
Okay. Yep, got you. Okay.
All right.
And I've got a little webcam set up. So, like the desk work,
Mm-hmm.
because I'll probably jump over there at some point. But the first thing I want to do, I need to change this. This was done, but they had a couple of change requests. I need to change this, and I want to show Pascal something. So I'm going to just go ahead and I could edit it, but I think it'd be better for him to see it from scratch. So I'm going to grab those children and just delete it. Uh, Actually, we'll just go ahead and delete all this. Unlock my spacers. All right, they're unlocked. Delete all that. Probably easier to turn everything else off and just grab it. Nope, not that one. Okay. I hope Joseph can come hang out. I got to talk to him the other day. It's been a long time since we had the old forum up, and I'm going to get it back up and running here soon. Okay, so I've got, make sure nothing's hidden, nothing's locked, and let's go ahead and do that again. Oh, you know what? I should have undo everything. I'm going to grab this and copy it. Redo. Okay. I'm going to just throw this up here. Oops. Let's break it and throw it up here so that we can have just a reference for. Oh, yeah. So I've got to turn this into a square top, but still maintain the same base shape. So I do want that stone still. So I'm going to copy that and then move that back down. So I want to keep that, and I'll just start. I could grab curves and everything, but I think it'd be better to show Pascal if I did everything from scratch. So the way I would do this is I would start with a polyline, and I want symmetry. So let's see. These spacers let me know if I'm close to the edge. So right now that should be a 1/4 millimeter, and this should be a 1/2. Okay. So I want I want a 0.5 millimeter wall at the top because it has I'm making a matching band for this, and it's big high polish edges. So let's go ahead and do another. Let's get a 3/4 millimeter because I think I'm going to want a 3/4 millimeter top, and I'm going to add it to this group, and then I'm going to throw it on my spacer layer and go ahead and lock that so I don't mess with it anymore. So we want it to be that big rectangle at the bottom, but then have it squared off at the top. And there's a lot of history in this. And we're going to make it from scratch. So the first thing I need is a polyline. So I'm just going to trace this. Actually, I'll just grab this one. No. And this one. Just copy that, paste it, and move it down to here. That way I can keep my same base size. So it's just 2 polylines. And turn on the points for that. And we are going to change this. So now we're going to have this 3/4 millimeter. So I want to set the X on that over to there. That's fine where it is. Okay, so this is going to be the bottom. Oops, did not grab all of it. This is going to be, grab the curve. Huh. So this is going to be the base of our shape. And then we're going to do another one where it's more square. So let's copy that, move it back up. And this one, we just need to move down to there. Okay, so we're going to go from that square at the base up to there. Now this surface is tied to this surface, and the way I get there is this is a group. So every time I scale my finger rail, this curve is flowed to here. And then that's how this surface is made. So I can resize the finger, and it got off of 0 somehow. So this curve shouldn't be here. Delete that. This curve, and I probably ruined my history. Oh, it is. It's dead on with that. I don't know where this curve came from. I did this job a while ago, and there was some change requests, so I'm coming back to redo it. I'm gonna hide that for the minute. Okay, and hide that. Okay, rectangular base, square top. Now what I'm going to do is take this and this, and I want this one. Am I going to want one more? Will I want one more? Yes. I'll tell you why. I'm going to scale this in off of here to my 1/4 millimeter. And then I'm going to offset this. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? No. That won't work. Somebody else pop in? No, okay. And I guess I should be paying attention if somebody is doing. Oh, it wants me to update something. I need to pay attention to YouTube chat as well. Okay. There we go. Now I can see chat. Huh. Well, I thought I knew what I was going to do here, but I kind of don't because I just changed it. But I think I'm going to want it this way later on. I normally do it a different way, but I'm going to do it this way for now. But I'm going to mirror this to this side, and then grab these, select new, and then mirror it to this side. Okay. I'm going to hide that for the moment. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to call join copy. Join copy. Oh, I know what I could do. I have a new idea, and I think I like it better. I just need to get this one done. I'll play with that later. So I've got join copy. I'm going to take those new ones, and I'm going to do curve through polyline and get my shape here. So these are the curves that actually end up being used when I get ready to loft. So I'm going to dump those onto square bezel curves. And then I want this top one, I want to offset loose. Nope. Offset loose by 0.5 millimeter. There we go. So that'll give us the top of our square. This will be the cutter for where we define where to put the prongs, and our stone is right there. So we'll cut the prongs out of this area. Then we will blend over that edge so we have a nice thick high polished lip. So that needs to go onto curves. And I should minimize all these other ones so I can find what I'm looking for faster. Okay. And then we need to take this, select its parents, and isolate it so we can clean this up a little bit. So this is a control curve. Well, not the main one. All right, so that needs to go ahead and go onto junk and be hidden so we can't see it. Now, these are our control curves. Okay, I'm going to lock those, and everything else goes to junk and gets hidden so we don't see it. And I'll bring back our controls. Didn't I just hide them? Oh, I locked them. Okay, so there's our control curves. Turn everything back on. And we can turn points on for this and get this squared away. So we want to go from, this is our top shape. Our bottom shape, we actually want to project loose onto this surface. Actually, I'm going to pull loose because project loose changes it for some reason. We can't pull. All right, we will use project. I wish project loose did not change it, but it does. So, and by change it, it looks like it's the same curve, but where the seam is, it does something. I'm not sure what, but it does something. And then we want to have an offset loose going 0.5 millimeter sounds good. And we want to project that onto that surface as well. So now this can go onto junk so we don't see it. This will be one of our curves. And these guys need to come up to somewhere in there. And we'll see how this looks. Let's go ahead and loft it and see how it looks. So I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. And can't control the seam on a join copy, which is unfortunate. So we'll flip this one and change that to loose and see what we're working with. I think that's going to work pretty good. So we'll go ahead and throw this onto our surface layer. And we'll grab this and say, give me a planar surf. Oh, we'll grab this. This is our edge cutter. And I just put a little faint line in the model, like a 0.15 millimeter diameter pipe. So that curve needs to go onto cutters, mill grain curve, and the pipe, cutters, mill grain surf. And then I just need a surface for the bottom, but I'll do that last. I generally don't worry about it until the model's done. That back on surf, make that a group, and then take this, this, and this, and we are going to flow. This curve and that curve should be the same length, so I'm not going to tell it to stretch, but I will say rigid and go from there to there. Let's turn on our shank and see how it sits. We want it to sit on it like a saddle. Like this one is kind of riding like a saddle. So we need some more meat through here, which is easy to do. We come and find those control curves. We'll turn off our regular curves. There we should have the control curves, and we bring this up, and it's just going to make this balloon out a little bit. Doesn't look like it's tall enough either. Well, I don't know that yet, because here's that's one of the changes we're making to this is it was a rectangular shape with one stone. I don't know if that's coming out far enough either. Let's grab this and this, and let's boost that out just a little bit. That looks about the same. We don't know where the height is yet, because what we're going to do is change this. So this is a scan of a stellar peg head. I'll just bring this up so you can see it. Whoops. Let's unlock history. Bring this up. So this is a stellar peg head that I scanned in. And this is a peg head cutter. You know, it just gives a little dimple for the pilot hole. We don't need that. We don't need any of this peg head cutter stuff anymore. So we'll just say, make sure lock is off and delete all of these layers. Delete layer and objects. Yes to all. Oh, I duplicated it like a dummy. Delete layer. Yes to all. Peg cutter, delete layer. Yes to all. Okay. And we're not going to use a peg head anymore. Where'd my stone go? Oh, I bet my stone was on one of those layers. I'll just throw it back in. That was a prong set round, and the size on it. Let me open up my notes here. The center was a 4.7. That is a 4.7 millimeter round. And we'll throw it on 0. And the other changes, they don't want a peg head, they want a semi bezel on this. So we want, well, we want this to be lower, but we don't want it to sit lower than the scan. We can come down a little bit there. And when this stone gets cut out, it'll have the same kind of depression that this one has, because I'm just giving the setter the pilot hole for the stone, and then he's going to make that bright cut, form a little island of metal and turn it into a prong there. So it'll have that same depression. I'm looking at the, this top edge here to see how thick it should be. And I think this is in the right spot. I think our shank doesn't need to be as high now. So that is, let's turn all that off. And let's bring this down a hair. I can adjust the height. Oh, I had multiple things selected. What was the other thing? Oh, that's just a reference dot. Okay. Let's go ahead and bring it down a little bit more. That's too much. Maybe we can bring this one down a little bit. This is the one bad thing about having a scanner. I can see that, the scan ring is a little bit out of round. So, I made the shank the same thickness, but it doesn't look like the same thickness because this starts, it's an oval. So they're just as thick. It's just one is offset a little bit. But up here, I think I do need that height. So maybe this purple box does need to come up just a hair, which we grab our top control. All right, I think I'm done with that, so I'm just going to delete it now. It keeps getting in the way. So our top control curves, all we got to do is raise that up to, say, 1/4 millimeter. That looks good. I think we need a little bit more meat on the side. So just bump that up a little bit. There, I'm happy with that. Okay, so we got to go from there to a semi-bezel. And she said she wants it low profile. The problem she had with the peg head is she wants low profile. So I've got to kind of curve, off this shank. I don't have enough space here. That's going to be too thin for a semi-bezel. Which means this isn't going to be centered up with this. Well, I can make this whole thing thinner. Scale 1D. Bring this in. So I've been talking to Pascal about how long it takes to update things. And then we'll take this stone. Let's measure this. So that's 1.5. So we want to take 0.3 of a millimeter off this stone. So I'm going to set my gumball aligned to the block, meaning it's going to be at the girdle. And then I'm going to scale it. Let's see what size is. I think it's a 2mm. Yes, it's a 2mm. So we're going to take it to a 1.7. That's 1.7 divided by 2. Scale that down. And now we've got a 1.7mm stone. Our offsets. Looks like something weird happened with our offsets, or I've got an old one on here. So that's 3/4 millimeter. That is the offset line we want to work with. This should be on the should be right there to get it square. And if I want to make this more square, I can take this and scale 2D off of there. And I can tighten up that edge maybe a little bit more. And it's fine that the base is kind of tapered in, because I think on this ring they taper as well. Yeah. So it's fine that that tapers. Now, how much space did that give us? Not enough. All right. This is the fun part. How do I make this into a semi-bezel without enough room? Do I not center this into that gap? Don't want to raise it up because she wants it low profile, so that's not really an option. Let's throw a whole bezel on here and just see how it looks. So I'm going to grab a bezel wire, bring that in here, import file, and I should have a bezel wire out here somewhere. There we go. So let's move that. Let's move that over here to the stone. That goes there. It's a diamond, so it'll have a thin girdle. I should double check the stone's girdle. Let's say let's just do a sweep 1, make it easy. Sweep shape, sweep rail, sweep shape, do it. Okay, I mean, it's kind of enough space. We just want to stop it right about here. And then blend it in. Oh, and I deleted that peg head cutter, but that would be a perfect cutter to cut the galley for the stone. I don't know what that is, but I don't need it. It can go away. More mindless stuff while I'm thinking how to do this. I need another one of these here. I do not need this. I'm just going to delete it before I accidentally use it. I need another one of those here. So what I'm going to do is I don't care about bringing over my control shapes because I already have the shape that I want. I just want to grab the curves. I don't want the control. I don't want the junk. I want the curves and the surf. So let's say select sublayer objects. I don't want that. I don't want that. And we will copy it, paste it, turn that off. So we're just getting the curves and lock no, move from here to there. Okay. And I didn't grab this. Do I have the curve for it? Yes. Okay. So I want to grab this, copy it, hide that, paste it, and let's move that from there to there. All right, so now I can take this, this, and this, and flow that onto our second spot. And these curves must be different lengths. I don't have stretch on, and it stopped there. So what's the length on that curve? 5967, and this one is 7. So let's bump that out. 5967. That's a weird length. Let's just go -1 and move it from there to there, and that should give us a 7mm again. 7.028 minus 0.028. All right, now we've got a 7mm. So this is the wrong height. So all I really needed were the curves. I want to turn my lock history back on. All I really needed was these curves that make the loft. I'm happy with the shape of them. I just knew I was going to have to change the height of it to be over to there. And then, so question is, do we want to rotate this? Is that on the point? Yes. Do we want to rotate this? Oh, then our bottom doesn't match up. We'll shear it. We will. Should I do them individually? Probably should do them individually. Shear. Take it down about that much. All right, that looks good. A little bit of hump there, a little bit of hump there, but we're still following the bottom. Actually, I think that was a little too much. Let's do about there. And remember, I'm going to round over this edge. That needs to follow the same. I should have done those two together. Shear. Where is it? There it is. And then we can just take and rotate that. And drop it down. Okay. And I don't think I need to shear the base of this. Let's make sure that we're okay. The shank narrows. This is a little bit too big of a saddle, so we'll take the bottom one and we'll shrink that in a little bit. what do we got going on here? Undo. Let's take that bottom one and bring them in. All right, that looks like the same amount of saddle now. I like the way that's sitting. It's a little proud. We can bring it down a hair. Bring it down a hair. Okay, I'm happy with that. Like I said, we're gonna fillet this edge over. We're gonna make it a hard round. Well, not a hard round, like a 0.2 of a millimeter, maybe a 1/4 millimeter round when we get done. And we'll still have plenty of space in here for pulling prongs. Might make those stones bigger, actually. We'll see how it goes. This semi-bezel. I don't know. I don't know what to do. This is what kills productivity. It's just a little bit too big to fit in that hole. Well, let's just see what it looks like if I move this over. So if I take and rotate this down, just a degree. Still kind of looks centered. It's not centered. Close enough. That gives me enough space. Let's do 1/2 degree. Rotate this way, that's 0.05. Was that not degrees? Was that millimeters? Undo that rotate. Rotate off of 0, 1 degree. I think my snap that was telling me 1 was a millimeter instead of an angle reference. I missed that. Okay. I think I want to thicken this middle one up. Go back to automatic placement on that. Okay, and on this one, that would be the, oh, I've got the control turned off. And for this, we need to set it right there. And let's just thicken up the midpoint just a little. Okay, I like that shape better. Otherwise, when I would do that fillet edge, it would fall off too quick, I think. What is this? I don't even know where that is. Oh, weird. The spacers for this one are stuck over here, but they rotated like that one rotated. That is a bug, because these should be attached to that with history. Interesting. Just delete them so they don't bother me. It's either a bug or I messed up somewhere. All right, let's reset this curve now that we've got a little bit more space to work with. We want it to come off the shank like that. We need to get up to here pretty quick. So I think that will be the shape that we use to come off the shank. Rotate off 0, 180. God, I haven't done a semi-bezel in a long time. I don't know how I'm going to make this. We know we want it to come off the shank like this, but then as it gets around to here, let's isolate this and just look at it for a second. And Oz, how's the video stream?
Yeah, it's really good.
It's really
There is
good?
no problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
It just
everything
started
goes
blinking at
right.
me. Okay, good. I really don't know how I want to do this because I know I want like it to come to maybe there. And have the bottom open. So that's
It's
the
actually
shape
very confusing.
to make a semi-bezel.
Yeah.
Let's see what this looks like. I'm going to do a copy rotate from there to there. And we are way out in space. How do we tie that back into our shank? You know what? Let's deal with the first part. And the reason this bezel wall is the way it is, so Blaine Lewis, New Approach School for Jewelry, he has you hand cut the bezel wall like this when you set the stone. And this is going to be just a hair undersized. So my setter's going to open up this wall where this stone just, I mean, he's going to have to push it in with a brass rod. So it'll be fairly, fairly snug just by getting it into the setting. And then what you do is you take and you put a hammer here and you hammer on it, and that makes this wall move over just a hair. I mean, this angle goes up to maybe there, and now you have a nice clean surface to polish. Most of the stone is not hidden, not buried under metal. So that's where this shape comes from, and you can buy those DVDs. I have it on the bookshelf here. Yes, turn on the camera. There we go. So that shape came from this, and I went and took the course. I went and took the week-long advanced setting class, which was wonderful. But if you can't get to North Carolina, I highly recommend just getting the video versions of them because you'll learn a lot. We covered everything, but I don't know if he has a video for everything. Okay, let's put this in. I know I need a seat, and that is not connected to the shank. So I know I need that. I'm going to start by putting that out to there. And then, did I get the right thing? Oh yeah, I did. This was already there. Delete it for now. Okay, and then I'm gonna need, we can just do a revolve. So revolve here to there. I didn't want to do 360. Try that again. Start, end. This is me having, you can never trust any of my things because I've already said, you know what? I do 360 every time. Why do I answer this question? And then you do something you've never done before. And so I can't use my button for that. Start of revolve, 0, end of revolve, 0, 0, 0, 1. Start angle. Did I not do that right? Start a revolve. I was on the wrong screen. 0, 0, 1. I started over here, so used the C plane instead of the world. And then we want to go to there. Okay. So that has to be there. No two ways about it. Now we just need to figure out how to blend it into the shank. So let's see where this guy is. And let's cut our window and put in a rail. So to cut our window, let's isolate this. And I'm just going to do another join copy, a bit of fun, to there. Mirror that to the other side. Join copy. Take the new thing. Do curve through polyline. Take that. I need to put my, I need a layer to organize all this on. So the layer name is semi seat cutter. Okay. And now all of this, ungroup that. This can go onto junk. Semi seat cutter junk. That is our control. And that is our cutting curve. I want to bring that out to here. And we need a line across the top. No, we don't. Nah, I won't do a line across the top. We want to mirror that across and then loft this and this. Okay, that will be our seat cutter. And I've messed something else up because I don't have continuity there. And let's change that color. Let's make it a dark green. Okay, so we got to get from there to the shank. Our stone is bigger than our shank. That is also a problem. Can't have that. I mean, we could. It should overhang this. Yeah, there's no way that girdle is going to rub up against the ring next door. So it could overhang a little bit, but I don't like doing that because every time this edge gets bumped, it gets flicked up, it's going to be cutting its way out of this bezel. So I do not want the edge of the stone to be able to be manipulated. So let's do two things. Let's thicken the band at the top here. And it looks like it is overhanging by at least 2/10. So 0.2. And now we are not overhanging. Oh, we're dead on. Let's go ahead and bump it another 2/10. And this is where something got messed up. So this is no longer following that. Let's turn those points on. Let's lock that. And so basically this means this is done. It's blown. Something happened. It's no longer tied into everything. So we're going to delete it and just work on those two directly. All right, so let's have this match. Turn those points on. Lock that. Turn these points on. And we are setting the X and the Z on it. I hate it when I blow history because I have to do stupid stuff like this. Okay, so now those match, and now I will be G1 continuous through there. Let's look at our square bezels. We need to bump up the height on those two. Let's unlock. All right, that looks like the right height. Let's check our width on this. Now we have some meat overhanging this thing. We gotta make this thing bigger. Oh man, this messes everything up. I thought this was going to be a simple change, and now it's going to take me. I've got so many other jobs to do too. I don't want to go any narrower than that. That saddle's still the right size. This one is now too skinny. So we go to our square bezels, turn on our controls, grab that. That is the base, and we're just going to scale that. Hmm. Maybe I don't have to scale it that much. Maybe if I just brought it up. That's hanging out a little bit far, but I can fix that later. Okay, I think I like the way that looks like the same amount of saddle. Not sure exactly where this is going to mate up anymore, but should be in the same ballpark. Now our cutter. Are we going to be able to see the culet? So we want to see the culet. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a seat to this thing as well. Isolate. We'll just put rebuild this. Let's do 3, 12. And then flatten that, set that to the same height as that. About there. I think I want one more point on the bottom. So I can get a little sharper corner going. But this... Okay, so I want this to overhang the stone, but in a way that any incident light that reflects on it is going to bounce off. So you'll feel it, but not see it. That looks like a good cross-section thickness. You know, it's 3/4 of a millimeter, 1 millimeter square. Looks about 3/4 of it coverage. And then a sweep one. Sweep one. Rail, curve, go. All right, and we want to stick that onto... We can put it in with the bezel. Oh, we don't have a bezel layer. Set layer, bezel surf. That's the control. And this bezel too that the rail came in on, I don't need that anymore. There shouldn't be, there is something on it. It has one hidden object. Select objects. Unlock everything. Select sublayer objects. Okay, that needs to go on to bezel control. Now get rid of this extra. Okay, we don't need to see square bezel. We fixed the thickness on that. We don't need to see the shank. We fixed that. So the semi bezel and we're done. Easy. All I have to know is what I want to do with it. Just want to grab all this stuff and try and work with it like this for a second. Actually, I'm going to copy that, save the original, paste it, and break history on it. Actually, we'll go ahead and get rid of the symmetry side. And let's cut a patch out of this and just see what the blend looks like. So where is our trim? Up there. Ah, join copy, flip my seam on me. Trim that. Is that low enough? I might make that even more pronounced because I'm going to have a bridge across the top now. I'm not going to worry about it. I mean, that's over 1 millimeter thick. So let's do that again. No harm in having a lot of space in here. Vertex. Oh, the scan is on. Actually, I leave that off. I wonder how it got on. Let's go straight over to about there. And let's trim all of this out. Wish I guess I could have done to begin with. Now let's see what a blend surf looks like. I want to blend this side with that, and I know it's going to be horrible to begin with because we want to come off of there. And 2, we're going to position. Oops, I right clicked. Okay, there we go. And then on 1, we want tangency, and let's this is not terrible. I need more metal here though, so that's not going to work. Let's take and offset the top of that to there, and then loft that. And try again. Blend surf there. That surface edge. Snap in the middle. Tangency, tangency. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. That looks like enough meat. Yeah, that's enough meat. I'm pretty sure. We got a little extra meat there though. I don't hate it. This is casting as two-tone, so that's going to be a plug cut. Once this is hammered down, I think it'll be fine. Once that hammers down and gets the back of it gets sanded when we put these in, I don't hate it. I think that's going to work. So those need to go onto our surf layer. We can hide that. We've got to make this watertight now, which is always fun. Oh, we got a comment. How do I make my zooms cool like that? My zooms are cool because of something called a 3D connection space mouse. Let me see if I can pull it up here. 3D connection. Okay, so that is what I'm using right now. I've tried this. I don't like the ergonomics of it with the buttons on both sides because your hand is right here in the middle. That means your thumb has to do all of this, and then your pinky ring finger does all of this. I just wasn't a fan of the ergonomics of it. So I just go with this, and just there's two buttons on it. But they keep getting it more and more expensive. Like this used to be $80 and this used to be like $250. Everything gets more expensive. But that is how I'm doing the cool zooms. All right. I'm going to get a drink of water real quick. If anybody wants to, I'm not looking at comments, but if anybody wants to get into the Discord voice chat, you're more than welcome to. It's an open. I'm in party one on the in the Discord. Link to the Discord is in this stream's description. So we kind of just want to make this like a straight wall down, but kind of blending into here and here. Man, this is going to be a weird shape to make. I don't know. This is a weird patch. This is terrible. This is not a fun shape to make at all. Let's do a blend off of here to, let's see, go to here. None of those. All right, start at 0. History purge. Maybe something like that. Well, that's a little too tall. Copy, paste, points on, take that. We are not going to project. We're going to move from there to there. And maybe drop that down a little bit. Back a little bit. Maybe we bring this in. Honestly, I don't care how this looks. As long as there's enough metal there where I can shape it like in the casting. Like I have a feeling that I will waste so much time trying to get a shape out of this. I really just want to make it a closed seam with a gob of extra metal, and then I'll take a file and sandpaper and fix it in the casting. Because this is a nightmare. Let's turn our square bezels off. Turn all of our cutters off. We could take and make another version of this to hit it in the center. So I'm going to copy. Well, actually, I can just go to, no, copy, paste, and then set Y on it to 0. Grab these points, move. See, that's coming off the bottom of there, so we want to move it to the bottom of there. We don't need this bottom lip anymore because we put a rail in. So I can take this, turn the points on for that, and delete that point. Okay, because we don't need the base of it. We have this seat that goes all the way around, right? So we don't have to put a shelf for the pavilion to hit. And then let's mirror this to the other side. And let's see what a sweep one looks like with this. Sweep one, that rail, this, and this. That's why I don't like sweeps. Line there to there. 99 out of 100 times, I would much rather use a loft, but I don't think, well, maybe a normal loft would. ungroup that. Maybe a normal loft would hit that. Usually when I do a loft, I'm thinking loft loose. But if we do a normal, yeah, it's not going to hit that edge the way we need it to. Oh, these points set the X, Y, and Z to there, which should update that one and this one. Okay, we're good. I guess I could have left that normal loft and see if it fixed itself. Does that match normal? Does that match our seam? No, it does not. Okay, so we're going to go to a sweep 2. Further and further down the list of unwanted tools. Okay, we do not care about tangency. No, we do not. We just want to close this thing up. So damn it. I thought this was going to be a quick fix on this job, but this is really turning into being unfun. Let's see what a surface blend between this and this looks like. We want to come back down to there. And on 2, we just want, actually, we want a blend there and we want position there. You know what? I said just give me enough metal that I can shape it by hand. And then I'm trying to get fancy. Just give me enough metal where I can shape it by hand. Okay, so now we can do a blend from there to there. All right, and now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got a 4-sided surface, the easiest of holes to fill. Okay, not pretty by any means, but this will join up watertight, and I can fix the rest in metal. So let's do a quad mirror on that. We need to do an X mirror. Let's look at our seat. It's safe. It's a semi-bezel. This might be tougher to clean up by hand than I thought because we got the seat sitting in here. And this is sticking over, which protects the stone, but the sharp angle of it, you know, any light that hits it, it's going to reflect off this way. So it should always be in shadow when somebody's looking at it, which is nice. I can fix this all. I'm happy with this. This is not pro level, but it will be when I get done with it. Okay, organization time. Those are all surfaces. Go on to surf and hide them. This is surf. Go on to surf and hide it. We have that we never used. We've got these curves that all became control curves. Let's just dump that all into curves and be done with it. Okay. So this shank, we can just leave hidden. This we need to mirror over to the other side. Goes on to junk. We ended up not even using that. You know, that can go on to junk, so we just don't stop saying it over and over again for no reason. I want to keep it just in case, you know, I want to keep the one that had history on it. Is that sitting at the right point? Yes. This is a very thick shank. This never got mirrored over. And how does that look against the scan? Not quite centered, but I had to do it to fit that in, and I still think it works. Maybe I should bring the bottom ones up a little bit too. Maybe I should take and bring, you know, squinch this just a hair, let's say 2 degrees. Oh, that's the wrong way. -2. And then we need to get this centered between the two. So this guy, unlock. Points on. So that needs to go XZ to there. And that gives us our midpoint between the two. And this stone we just bump until we're on that midpoint. Okay, so now that stone is centered between those 2 buckles. I like it. I thought it would be a lot easier to get here than it ended up being, but I'm happy with where we ended up. Is this rail sticking up too far? Yes, it is. I'll deal with that in 3D coat. Got enough of a leap over there. Okay, so this is where I save small. And then what we're going to do is just take this guy and isolate it. We are going to not lock things anymore. So I save it before I do the breaking of the history. So we want to join that together. That seam goes away. And then we want to take this and this and this and this. Join that together. And we missed one. Oh, did we get a closed? Yes, we got a closed surface. This inner rail, join that together. These guys have no bottoms, and I forgot to do it. So we're going to join them and make bottoms for them real quick. So I'm going to say select open surfaces and isolate. We can ungroup this and delete two of them. And then we can say, so we've got an edge there. Crap, I was hoping that seam would be right here in the center. Split edge right there and right there. And we can do blend surface, chain edges here, 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 and just go with position. Okay. Not pretty, but it works. Split edge, there, there. Blend surf, chain edges, second edge, position, good. Join, they're closed. Mirror that over to the other side. Select open surfaces. Nothing's open. We are ready to export. I think I want to take the scan with us to 3D coat, just so when I snag a picture of all this, I'll have that with it. Export to 3D coat. And launch 3D coat. Voxel sculpting, import temp object, scale 2500. Import as child. Apply. Yes, keep it at the same scale and just switch over to fill. Okay, so I got to get my Wacom tablet out now. Oh. And because I changed all my screen resolutions and everything, I got to launch the Wacom thing and map it to oh, there's a driver update, not now. Let's go to pen settings and we want to mapping portion, and then there's a way to mark it. Click to define area. So you click once and then you click a second time, tell it okay. And now the pen. Yep. Okay. This is one of the more complicated 3D coat things that I do, because this is a two-tone, and so we can turn off the gems. Gem cutters will bring back at the very end. Cutters for the mill grain, we can go ahead and do those. Select, subtract from square bezels. Okay, that was an easy one. I did not fillet edge those, my bad. Just do it, I'll do it by hand. Shank rail. So first I'm going to clone this. Clone. And then I want to scale 2D. All right, that's the same thickness. And go ahead and subtract that from the square bezels. That's the rail that these square, because it's two-tone, these square bezels are going to ride on that rail. Next, I need to make sure that rail doesn't stick up anywhere that it's unwanted. So we are going to turn on the shank. Oh, the shank came over on the bezel layer. I'm going to make that a little ghosty. And then say cut off. We don't need the rail there or anywhere on the bottom. Okay. So let's take the square bezel and say copy and subtract from the shank. And we got a little leftover fuzz there because something got bumped. Honestly, it's fine. It'll wash out with a couple of smooth alls. If I was on the right layer, it would. I'm still not on the right layer. Damn it. Okay, that's good. So what do we need to do over here for this transition? Let's go to fill and turn on symmetry X, Y, and just kind of smooth the crap out of this. We can do it in 3D coat just as easy as we could in metal. I don't want steady stroke. That was perhaps too aggressive. Okay. Let's take down this hump a little bit. We need to add some material there. So I'm just looking for low spots and just putting a little extra metal there. And the final touch will be, by hand in the metal, but just making sure that we don't have any low spots. It's always easier to add metal than it is to take it away. Okay, and it looks like we had a funny seam here. And we don't want this this under ridge in here. Okay, so now we have a good window. Let's turn our stone on and see. We got a good window for it. Okay. So let's merge our shank rail with that. And then we're going to take the fill and just take out these hard corners. This is making me a little worried. This angle should be where this can pop in, but it looks like it hooks a little bit at the end. But it should, that just worries me a little bit. Because you need a negative draft angle for this thing to fit on top. Okay, this is done. So we got our square bezels. Oh, we need our gem cutters. Subtract from the square bezel, and then I like doing this whenever I'm mating two things together. I'm going to take this and clone it. Clone, and then we're going to extrude 0.08, which works when you bring it in and you scale up by 2,500. The 0.08 makes a good little, it's enough for the solder to take the space up. It's enough of a gap where once it goes, it'll be a nice surface that's close enough for solder to, what's the word? Capillary action, wick into. Subtract from our square bezels. What did I do? Okay, that's the extrude. Subtract from square bezels. There we go. So now if we look at our square bezels, you'll see that there's just the hint of a gap. And you need that so they can fit together. I see maybe one more problem. Yeah, there's a curl over on these. Got it. Everything is a problem today. So let's go with scrape and just take this edge off. All right. Can't see. That should work. And then we'll take the hard edge off of this one. We got our registration marks. Now when we've got it seated all the way down, we can take off these hard edges as well. We don't need those. Should have done that before we left Rhino. And okay, saddles are done. Ring is done. Oh, I didn't bring out the, damn it. Grab these two. Export to 3D coat. Nope. Wait. Where is it? Oh no. Reset access, reset space. Okay. It was trying to upscale it 2,500 again. So that would have been 2,500 times 2,500. That's why it said, are you sure you want a 70 million poly thing? Okay. So hit apply, go to fill. Now we can take these cutters and subtract from the bezel. Okay. All right. Now we're done. Turn my gems on, turn my scan on, and let's go ahead and grab some screenshots so we can share later. Turn symmetry off. Let's make the scan stand out with a different color that's, there we go. And because it's two-tone, grab it in two-tone. All right, print screen, top view, print screen, side view, print screen. I think that should do it. That's enough angles to show them what's going on. All right, so we're done with the scan, done with the gems. Turn the sprue on. Go from voxel mode to surface mode for these guys. And for the sprue, we're going to decimate that 99%. For the square bezels, we'll do 90. And there's a wireframe view when you decimate to see if you have enough detail. All you want to see is that, you know, on relatively flat parts, the triangles get big, while at the curvy bits, you still have tiny triangles. If you've got that mix, then that's a good, you know, the top is all flat. So as long as you've got that mix, you should be good to go. The original is like a stupid size file. Before we go ahead and decimate this, we'll go with 90 as well. So that's 120,000 triangles. And if we look, they're not too stretched out in this flat part in the center. We've got plenty of detail. It looks like symmetry. Why are you on? That's flat where it makes the seat for the stone. So I know these numbers because I use them all the time. It might look weird here, but that's because you have high contrast on. If you turn high contrast off, it doesn't look that weird. Okay, so all right, I need to do the hide everything for just a second while I save this out, because I don't want to put people's names on here. All right. And then I'm saving the saddles separate. Export saddles. Okay. I can bring you guys back now. There we are. How long have we been going? Hour and 48 minutes. I honestly budgeted like 30 minutes for all of that. That's how good I am at this. Big brain. I don't think I've done a semi bezel in probably 4 or 5 years. That was stupid hard. I need to think about that and come up with a little template that I can use. Well, that's going to make everything behind today now. I need to turn the screen off while I open up the next model. So I don't save this, right? Like the last time I saved it was before I broke all the history. I always double check that I hit save small over here, because do you want to save no is not something that, you know, I'm very comfortable clicking on. So I always double check that there's a save small, real recent. And then I broke all my history. When I open up the file back up, if I have to make an edit, I don't care what this is, because there's something wrong with it. I got to edit it. I want to go back to before I broke all the history. So I check that I made sure I have save small on. So do not save changes, and start us with our template, which actually I need to open an existing file. So I'm going to be rude and hide while I open it. Okay. And this is another like really weird job that I'm doing, where I've got to make array polar 0, number of items 4 over 360. Okay, I got to make this kind of a ring top. I have a webcam. I can show you. Turn on the webcam. This is what we are making. So this is the ring that she likes. These are her giant stones. And we're going to try and get all 4 of those in. And these are all like old miner cuts. If you look close, you can see that the culettes are pretty much open on all of them. And of how many years they've been around, like this round is now been chipped into a oval. You know, it's so I'm using the largest part of the diameter for the model, but yeah, that's what we're doing. We're turning this into this. And I'm not quite sure how to do it yet either. Let's get rid of the tablet here. A little Wacom. So I played around with this one. Well, I played around with this one multiple times now and just have quit in frustration. But I think this is what I've decided to do. We're going to undercut the inside edge. So there's a little bite out of all of them. And then we are going to make kind of a bezel wall here where all the stones kiss this outside bezel wall. The question I have is, how much of this stone do I want to hide? Because it's going to be undercut in this wall. It's just a lot of stone to not show, which is weird. I don't know why this Google thing is. YouTube is giving me an error message. I don't know why. Nas would have told me if it. Oh, a Nas dropped. Hopefully, one of you guys would have told me. There are people here. Yes. Hopefully, one of you guys would have told me if it wasn't working correctly. Okay, so that is a big undercut. The more we take it away, the less undercut this has. That is right out on the edge. So this outside wall, we want to make sure. I think I got a little thing here that's a 0.5 millimeter offset, so I could see when my wall thickness was less than a 0.5 millimeter. We want it thickest out here at this edge, I think, because we're going to have to hammer on that to set it. Then we want to go back to the 0.5, and we start at less than 0.5, but okay. Let's bring this in so it matches that curve. It's just such a bigger stone than the others. I hate that it's going to get buried, but 'tis what it is at this point. All right, so we need to make a surface that can hold all of this. And then we need to take that up 60. I do 30, 60, nice round numbers. I do want to add a grid snap for working up here though. That way I have something to snap onto the center up here. And then we're going to rebuild this as, let's try and rebuild it as a 2-3 and see how that does. Turn the points on, grab the center. Closer from there to there. And we can start setting the height on some of these curves. Let's grab this and isolate points on. So we know it needs to be a little bit higher right here because the stone next to it is going to bite in. So that needs to be about there. And then this one. And then this can go down to nothing or 0. Well, I guess we need some height here on the back. And then this needs to start low, come up, come around. Let's average these guys out. Really needs to be highest right here, right? And we've got cutlets hanging out the bottom. Let's go ahead and move everything up. This is going to be a massive ring. Did I go ahead and set the finger rail on this job? So the finger rail is a 4.5. Oh, who's there?
Hello.
Oh man, you're alone in the voice chat?
Okay.
Why are you alone?
Oh, okay, God, fuck, I got banned.
Oh.
All right, we've got people that just... Okay. I'm going to set permissions on this to people that have been here for Okay. Now new people can't just jump in. Hmm. I think I'm happy with this. Like, it's just the bones of it. I need to check the depth on these stones. So here's my stone inventory. So I just need to check the depth on all of these because they're such they're old minor cuts. So I can't just rely on, you know, this is a standard brilliant cut. Depth is whatever 60% of the diameter. I need to check and make sure each one of these is the right. So I'm gonna keep this over here and 356 measure distance to there. 37. Okay, that's deeper. Oh, they all have open culettes, so they all should come in less than. Let's measure the big boy in the back here. There. I don't have project on. There. 4.261, 4.61. Okay, so big boy is taller than. He's taller than that. Let's check the next one. 392. 37. Okay, so that's got to go up. Well, crap. Let's delete that. Then add a curve from that top point going down. This is the big stone, so that's 4.61. And I want to group. Set that to there. And then group those guys. Next stone. .56. Nope. That guy, that group. Group. Grab the next one. All right, so the depth on this one is 3.87. And I'm having to do this because she wants it set as low as possible. So I'm going to be cutting it close with my depths here. And the last one, .92. Just a hair over, not bad. All right. I don't need the circle. Let's turn Actually, let's just delete all of that. Select children, delete, and turn that off as well. Okay, we need another curve just like this one. We'll start mocking up the interior wall. Copy, paste, points on. So back here in the back, this is where we are going to do our bezel wall. But over here, we've got our girdle poking under. Something like this. And now let's, did I flow those curves over? I did, I left them. Let's get rid of that. Let's loft. Oh, I need an outside one. Copy. And let's set that down to here. All right, let's just loft this and see what it looks like in space with straight sections. A lot of times I start out just modeling with straight sections and then coming back and refining it once I figure out what I want to do. Off of 0, 360, 4. Let's get our base layer. Flow from there to there. Let's see how this looks. On our depth, we have I didn't reflow my new depths. Delete. Turn the base back on. Flow rigid. There to there. Okay, so there's my depths now. And how far are we off the bottom? A 15th of a millimeter. That's not enough. I gotta go up higher. So that's a 15th. I want at least 4/10. Oh, 0.25. Double check. 0.4. All right. Can we bend this down anymore? Do we want to? Oh, I need to change out these cutters. Replace block. This one, this one, this one, and this one. From definition list, and we are going to use the channel set cutter. So now we'll just use that edge to cut in. Okay, it needs to cut into this wall and have enough space over here. Why is that one so far off the wall? Um, it's touching here. It's very odd. So let's get that down to the finger rail and just going blocky, just trying to get a feel for how everything's going to be. Did that change anything? No. All right. And then this inside curve, this needs to come down. Overcorrected there. How close are we to poking through the other side on this? Okay. Oh, this one's poking right through. That's, it'll look all right flat, but because this is bigger, it flows from the center point on it. So it's further out on the curve than, these guys. So if it's further out in the curve, it's going to have a steeper angle and it's going to miss this edge. I don't know of a good way to mock this one up. I definitely don't want to edit over there and keep having to come back over here to see how it looks. But maybe I should just edit in place. I think I'm going to have to edit in place. I don't know how I want to go forward with this. Well, what I think I want to do is this is not a very entertaining stream, me not knowing what to do. You guys understand the problem? I normally work off of like a flat plane and put it onto a curve, but the stone is so much bigger that because it's flowing to this part of the curve, it's going to be at a different angle than the rest of these. So this one tucks under, this one tucks under, this one farther out on this angle, it's not going to tuck under. So I can't exactly work with it on this plane and get it here. I've got to, I think I'm going to have to do it all in space. I'm going to have to do all the editing over here and just not use a base plane at all. But I'm not sure. So I'm going to go for a walk and think about it because I want to at least think through this idea before I go through doing it. So I'm going to end the stream. I thought I was going to do 6 or 7 CAD jobs. I barely did one. And then rage quit. So, yeah. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. I know I have like 5 or 6 easy jobs. What fun are those to watch? Might turn the camera back on tomorrow and just knock out the easy ones. I'll think about it. Okay. I'm calling it. Uncle. Bye, guys.